Yo. Look, we're just gonna skip all the fucking pleasantries. All right. I'm Born Rebel, aka Zen. We got Tony Vega, the ball mojito in here. We got playoff mode. But you know what? He's gonna have to probably change his name because playing like this, the team that we root for, probably not gonna make the playoffs. So look, not going to get the long intro. We're not going to do the small talk. Florida fucked us. Okay, Florida fucked us. The Lakers are on a two-game losing streak. We are 3-4, and we just went 0-2 uh, in the state of Florida. So Florida 2, Lakers 0. Yo, guys, what the fuck? What the what the fuck is this shit? Now, Tony, I know you had plans. We are recording this Monday night. We're dropping this on Tuesday. I know you had plans to remain sober on Monday. So, how did you do? How did that turn out for you?
Well, um, so hi, this is Tony, Ball Mojito. Um, so here's the thing. I I like to drink casually, and I wanted actually to just relax with a beer, with some wine, and see a game of basketball. I did not want to on a Monday hit the tequila this early. Like it's I don't I here's the thing. I don't know if this is gonna
Emotional damage.
Yep. Yep.
did that hit? Did that hit? Because that
Yeah,
was
it definitely hit.
that was like, hey, we can end the video there because that's basically what this is an emotional damage weekend. Like emotionally damaged. Like it's rough. Like I want it not like the Lakers made me drink again. The Lakers made me drink again. There you go. Yeah, that sounds yeah. Uh, Zen
Yeah. I,
playoff like
it,
what?
this is why people hate Mondays. Playoff, what's up, man?
Yeah, man. The the Lakers are single-handedly ruining my sports fandom experience. And like we're only 7 games into the season. That's the wild part. And I tweeted out, I said, the discourse around this team somehow has gotten worse than it was last year. And I thought last year was toxic. I thought that was like premium top tier
Next
toxicity.
level.
But the whole discourse around, Westbrook and, you know, waiting for the inevitable trade and all that stuff and just that whole situation, it was just a terrible experience being a fan and watching on a night to night basis. And somehow we're 7 games into this new season and it's worse. And it's like like we joked before about Laker fans can't have nice things, and it's like it's absolutely true. And
Well,
the more,
yeah.
but go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, the more things change, the more they stay the same, which we were just talking about that. But yeah, that's that's
Look,
that's where I'll leave it.
Yeah.
look. We are recording this right after the Lakers loss to Miami. It was a game in Miami. We lost by Cam Reddish missed a three at the buzzer, which I don't understand why he is shooting a corner three when we were down by one. We lost 107 108. Just to give you a little snippet of what happened in this game. So we lost. That's one. LeBron played. How many minutes did LeBron play?
He
Um,
So
played 37 minutes this game.
so
nice.
LeBron played 37 minutes. Okay, so AD is injured. He went out right before halftime. It looks like some type of groin injury. He tried to tough it out in the second half. He played 2 minutes and his ass was, he went out. He came back in. I don't know why. I don't know why AD needs to play through injuries in game fucking 7. Not a game 7 of a playoff series, but just game 7 of the regular season. I don't know what the fuck we're doing. It got so bad that LeBron his jersey got ripped, and then he took off his jersey, like on the court, right? Like during a timeout. I'm sorry, if I was LeBron, I wouldn't have put another one on. I would have just nah, just like Cleveland, just like how he did Cleveland in 2010 when he, the famous image of him walking through the tunnel. We're definitely gonna have to add that to the B-roll. When he took off his jersey walking through the tunnel in Boston and he took off the Cleveland jersey, I would have been just like that. Just take off the jersey. Nope, I didn't sign up for this shit. You guys are trying to kill me. What the fuck? Last year playoff, I'm with you. Last year it was worse. I mean, this year it's worse because last year when we were 2-10, we knew that we had a broken roster. We knew this ain't roster in it. But Robbie P, he made all the moves. He gave us depth. We have a roster. We don't have 1. We don't have 2. We don't have 3. We don't have 4. We don't have 5. We now have 6 players no. We now have 5 players. Torian Prince is back.
Yeah.
We have 5 players. Are we including AD yet? Because I don't see him playing Wednesday.
He's included in that.
Okay.
Yep.
Guys, what the fuck are we doing wrong? Like, Tony, what's up, man? Like, what are we doing wrong here?
I mean, it's a combination of things, if I'm being honest. Since the beginning, since the inception of this team, we saw that they went with the opposite of last season, which is they went with size, they went with length, they went with basically like you see this roster on paper and you're like, my goodness, this is a good roster. This is insanely good roster. Unfortunately, we started the season without Vando. Now you could say Vando is not like this missing magical piece where it fixes everything. But okay, we can survive without Vando. Then out of nowhere, Gabe goes down. Rui goes down. Okay, not a problem. Hayes goes down. Interesting. Anthony Davis goes down. Huh. Torian Prince went down. 6 players in the span of what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks, 6 players just poof, random injuries.
Just gone.
Just gone. So, I mean, hello to the neighbor here, Memphis Grizzlies in the Western Conference. How many players did they win out? Like 5, including their star player? And they just won a game? Barely? I'm just saying, like, we're fortunate that it's happened kind of offset and not all at once. But at the same time, it's catching up pretty quick. So, in a sense, continuity is not there. So we don't have continuity. We're trying to learn new things. We're trying to figure this out because it's not like Rui's starting because Rui's not available. It's not like we have Dennis Schroeder. We have Gabe Vincent. Where's Dennis Schroeder now? Like, where's Gabe Vincent? Like, we don't have the continuity that we have last year. So this team is trying to figure it out with what they have. So there's a learning curve there. The problem with the Lakers is they haven't figured, like, they really are, like, they haven't figured it out. They just haven't figured it out. Like, on paper makes sense. On the court, it just and by the way, I'm not even talking about that first quarter. That first quarter this is the first time in the season that we actually level-headed going into the second quarter. Level-headed. So it's like we are even because normally we're down double digits. We're down a significant amount. Like we are a bad first half team. Like bad, 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 bad. So yeah, there's a lot of problems with this team. You can say anything from injuries to construction of the team, but right now we just don't have a sample size. Right now we just looking at what we're seeing here, and it's like it can even go further than that. It can even go to Darvin Ham. Like I'm wondering here, and sorry that I'm going long winded here, but bro, I'm looking up. When has Darvin Ham ever had a technical foul? And by the way, shout out to Shub. Shout out to those guys because they said it. I think when we lost to Orlando, and I'm like, that's not a problem. And when I saw it today, I'm like, LeBron got called a foul, technical foul for doing what this? I don't know, man. Like this is not a good look. Here's where I'm at, and I know I'm going a little bit overboard.
No,
I
do
just
your
took a
thing,
shot
man.
at this shit,
No, you're
but
good.
yo, a contender doesn't act this way.
Yeah.
A uh, uh, a championship team is not an easy build. We took that championship team and we shredded it apart in 2021. When we did all those trades, when we did like we have no continuity. We're going against the grain. Even if we brought every single person from last season today, we would still have these problems. And to playoffs point, bro, it's the recording of this is what November 6th. In November 6th, and we're talking about trades. We're talking about trade packages. We're not only talking about trade packages, we're also talking about like, yo, this player is trash. A Max Christie is trash. This is trash. Like the fan base, like in game 6 or 7, is in shambles. Like pure shambles. And you know what's funny about all of that? They go on a 2 or 3 win winning streak, and it's like,
We're
oh, we're a
back.
championship team again.
We're
We're
back,
we're back.
baby.
We're
We're
back.
back.
Yes. Hey, future me, when you're editing this, insert the wire. The guy just saying like, just say to everybody, we're back. Like it's like
Shout out
I'm
Idris Elba.
yeah. I honestly, man, just to put a bow on it, going 2-0 to Orlando, I get it because Orlando was they compete. I even bet they compete. Like if I have to compare games, Orlando competed more than Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Orlando wanted it more than Miami. That's what's crazy. That is insane to me. Like I can understand why we lost the Orlando game. This game, it was there, man. And Darvin Ham. And by the way, I'm struggling to find the stats, but B-ball index has it. Um, Cam Reddish for his tenure as a player. My God, bro, he's
You,
a he's
you
he's a
remember?
D
So, and not in a
from
good way.
3-point shot.
You
So
pause, but you remember? You remember when he was with the Knicks, and there were folks that were saying that, oh, he only reason he doesn't play is because of this, bad boy death row East Coast West Coast beef between Clutch and CAA, and it was just a political issue. Nah, I can understand why give him playing time if he's not going to be consistent. Now, we know the Knicks are a poverty franchise. They don't have their shit together. But I'm going to say this. They were right. They were right about Cam Reddish. Like, first of all, in the Orlando game, because look, we didn't just get our heart broken in Miami. Go up, drive up to 95. We got our ass kicked in Orlando as well. He was in the starting lineup. 2 points. Thank you. Whoop-de-doo. Um, look, here's the thing, man. Like what I was saying earlier. Last year at this time, we knew we had a broken roster. We knew that Russell Westbrook at 47 million, we was not getting the production that justified 47 million. So it's like, okay, we need strength in numbers. We didn't have any other yeah, we didn't have any depth. We needed to build strength in numbers. So it's like, okay, let's get rid of the 47 million in one person and bring that 47 million back in 5 people. Okay, great. It just seems like we just have a whole bunch of broken parts. We got a whole bunch of specialists. One of the things I've been saying in our playbacks um is we don't have any hoopers. We don't have any hoopers. And what I mean by that is, Jay-Z once said, put me anywhere on God Green's earth, I will triple my worth. Like guys that can jump in, guys that no matter where you put them, they can make it work. We got a whole bunch of specialists. Um, Playoff. A lot of us was talking about, oh, this 4 game road trip. We're gonna go 4-0. Let's go. We now 0-2 on this road trip. Next game is against the Rockets. Friday is the in-season tournament game. We're at Phoenix, and then Sunday we go against the Trailblazers. I believe that's no, that's a home game for us. I believe that's a home game for us against the Trailblazers. Yo, how you think we're gonna finish these first 10 games, man?
Oh man, I think that really depends on AD. Um, I was obviously whenever you see AD grab at any part of his body, you take a deep breath because you just don't know. Um, and so before the game went to commercial, you could see him grabbing at his thigh, and then when they came back, they said he had been taken back to the locker room, and I'm like, okay. So I take a deep breath then, and then I get the alert that says that it's related to hip spasms or like in his groin area, somewhere around there, which obviously makes me scared based on how the season ended in 21-22 in the Phoenix series. But
No,
then
that
I see
was
the
20.
other.
No, it was 2021.
So yeah, 21. Yeah, 2021. Um, so then I see the next alert that says that he's starting the second half. I'm like, oh, okay. Because we've seen him fall and hurts himself or experiences an injury, and then he goes back to the locker room and he comes back and he's fine. Well, I felt encouraged when they said he was starting the second half, and then I actually turned the game on and I see him out on the floor laboring and just doesn't look like AD. Not able to challenge shots. Not able to guard Bam Adebayo. Not a good look. And so eventually they had to call a timeout, get him back out of the game. And then there was this weird sequence where they put him back in the game after that. And I'm like, and I understand AD, he's developed this reputation, and it's like he really can't win because if he experiences an injury, then people are going to call him soft and Mr. Glass and all, street clothes, all these, different nicknames that people have come up with over the
Anthony
years.
Medicaid Davis.
Thank you.
No problem.
So
I'm here.
all these additional nicknames. And so he can't win. So I see him out there trying to tough his way through it, trying to play through it. But it's like if we're using all this caution when it comes to role players and bench players, why are we not using that same caution when it comes to our superstar? I
You,
I,
you know,
I don't
yeah.
understand it.
You know what, brother? Here, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and it's like so. Long story short, it's going to really depend on AD's health. If AD is out for an extended amount of time, that completely compromises our team and the complexion of this team and what it looks like. And
Yeah.
this whole bag of goods that we've been sold about continuity, like what Tony was saying, it's like we're going with continuity versus making a splash move. We made it to the Western Conference Finals last year. We bring back that same team pretty much, sprinkle in some additional talent. We don't. This team came into the season with expectations of being a top 4 seed, but it seems like even from the very beginning, no one is taking it seriously. Darvin, like why are we still like trying to do rotations or trying to figure out rotate? It seemed like we didn't really start trying to figure out rotations until the season actually started. We didn't do any of that in the preseason.
Yeah.
Didn't understand.
And you and I have had conversations, and I just said it in our playback that we didn't take the preseason seriously at all. We didn't have one game where it was a full dress rehearsal. Guys are playing quarters 1 through 4. We were lackadaisical. We took it for granted, and here we are. Look, this is probably going to want to be what I hope is our most horrific episode, because we should have released this last week for Halloween, because we're on a 2-game losing streak. After our commercial break, me and Evan have a conversation about Magic Johnson's retirement, because we're dropping this exactly 32 years to the day. 32 years to the day of him retiring due to him being infected with HIV. So, the Lakers, we just don't prosper in November. November's not good for us.
November's not our month.
November's not our month,
Let me say one thing. Apparently, and I don't know how true this is, but I'm seeing this on Twitter. Apparently, AD made a statement that says he's confident that he'll play Wednesday. So, I don't know.
Let's take the positives, because I think
There are some
positives.
There are some
What
positives.
positive?
Okay, here's a positive. So Darvin Ham said that.
Wait, hold on.
Let me quote this. Let me quote this.
You had to say positive after I just mentioned the Magic. Never mind. Go ahead.
Oh gosh.
By the way, that's dirty, but yeah, hey, we're all about the puns. That's what the PGM
Zen's on a roll
for.
tonight. Zen's on a roll tonight. He had a joke in the playback that was probably some of his best and worst work at the same time. I'm not going to repeat it on the I'm not going to repeat it here, but
good thing I missed it. By the way, if you want to hear the joke, please join our playback. It's absolutely free.
Absolutely.
It's comedy.
Shout out Dwight Howard.
And oh God,
unforgettable experiences.
Yes. Again, if you're bored watching alone and you're hearing this podcast, please follow us on playback.
Yeah,
it's absolutely free.
Hey, if you're watching on YouTube,
I guarantee that you're gonna have a laugh. Yeah, you're literally
playback.tv. Right. Playback.tv/PGM Fan Cave.
We're thinking of renaming it Lakers Fans Anonymous. For
oh gosh,
the the nightly.
Fuck that. We filed we're filing the trademark Purple and Orange Mine starting next week. Coming in hot. All right, this is some bullshit, man. What the fuck?
But go ahead, Tony. Sorry, I mean to interrupt you.
Nah, you're fine. But here's a quote from Darvin Ham again. Great. Darvin Ham says Anthony Davis is in great spirit, but offers no other update. Then Darvin Ham says Cam Reddish got an awesome look at the buzzer. Again, quote unquote, awesome look. So that's his words. At the buzzer, and that's the shot that they would encourage him to take. He praised Cam for his overall effort. Quote unquote, we're not in this game. It's not a close game without Cam's contribution on the defensive end. Now, I'm sorry to say this. I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
He's a master.
Tony, can I say something? I know. Hold on, player. I want to say this real quick. So you look, you know how much I love politics. Now earlier today, I was I was watching the CNN coverage of because Donald Trump was on the stand for, his loss, his trial in New York, right? And they're saying all the stuff. There's no cameras in the courtroom, so they're pretty much reading everything that he has said. And I'm just like, after listening to what Trump was saying earlier today, and listen to what you said about what Darvin Ham, his statements, I I still can't figure out which one's the most dishonest man in America. It's a toss up to me. It's a real toss up. I'm not sure which one is more dishonest. But yeah, go ahead, playoff. What else do you have to say? This is some bullshit, man.
Well, what I don't understand is if we're actually trying to, it's the last possession, we're down by one, we're trying to win the game. Cam Reddish is a defensive specialist, right? Can we all agree with that on that? Like, there's
Who?
no Cam Reddish.
For
Like
what sport?
Tony, let me do you answer
Softball?
is he a defensive specialist on this team right now? He's definitely not an offensive specialist.
I'll be honest, he's not an offensive specialist. Like I think Cam at this point. No, here's the role that Cam's trying to fit. He's trying to fit the catch and shoot, corner catch and shoot, or just defend catch and shoot. Basically, that's basically what Cam Reddish is. In his career, he's not a good 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
We know that. They're trying to force him to be a 3-point shooter. Again, he's below 30. He's below 34% from 3-point land at his best. So, eh, and that's on not good volume either. So we know that he's not a 3-point shooter yet. We have him in this roster to do what exactly? And mind you, we're 5 players down.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's it's Cam Reddish or Maxwell Lewis.
Or Max Christie.
But Max Christie was already on the floor.
He
That's
was
what people don't
okay.
understand. Like you need to rest players, and then when D'Lo, by the way, D'Lo, shout out to you for getting teed up for just clapping. Like that's I forgot about him. He literally he's not the reason why we lost. Well, wait, he is the reason because probably Cam Reddish is not in that
he,
position.
he would have been there exactly. It would have been him taking
Yeah,
that shot.
and
Which
then we would have blamed him if he clanked it.
exactly.
But
See D'Lo smart. See what he's doing is people can't
Jesus.
complain about him being bad on the court if he's not on the court. See, he's thinking he's 2 steps ahead of y'all, trying to get him traded. If he's not on the court, y'all can't say he's playing bad.
But okay, this is such a fan thing to say. Believe me, I don't want to say it because currently how it feels, it's exactly like we're playing politics all over again. You remember the Patrick Beverly politics?
Yeah.
Like, oh no, Patrick Beverly, and we're like, yo, we're not supposed to go to that. Like, Patrick Beverly is not a wing defender. Let's stop with a cap like that. And again, we had those 3 to 4 guard lineups didn't work. We're seeing the same kind of trend now where it's like you're playing politics. Like there's situations where I'm like, yo, Max Christie could contribute more than than Cam Reddish. And by the way, Cam Reddish has had good looks, and I mean good outings. I'm not trying to just knock on the dude that he's just been terrible. He's been great to a certain point, but that's the he's showing more and more that he's a project.
Yeah. For
Like
sure.
that's the thing. Like he's not. If the Lakers can extract something cohesive out of that, that's great. And by the way, shout out to Edwin Garcia. He just he just posted something here that's actually interesting. Uh where is it? Yeah, it's here. Basically he said Ah, basically the AD. Yo, Edwin, what the fuck did you? You took it? He took it down.
Did you delete it?
Oh damn. Okay, no, because it was AD's comments. So AD basically saying that he went in. So he went in halftime. He felt good. Went into court, spazzed out, whatever that means, spazzing. Then it felt good again. Then spazzing again. Then it felt good, spazzing. I don't know. That sequence of words that I use is really bad. But what I'm trying to get at is like AD was trying, and it seems like he was feeling good, and then
Yeah, once he
no
got back
bueno.
on the floor, he started feeling it again.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the exact tweet, but no, it's not.
I
It's
got
not
it.
pulling up.
I got it. It
Found
says,
it.
yeah, felt fine coming out of halftime. Then it spazzed out again. Felt fine for a longer stint, 3 minutes. Kind of spazzed out again. I'll be fine. I'll be ready to go Wednesday.
Yeah. So again, the spazzing out, like, so the good thing here, in my opinion, if you want to get some good news, does it sound like a tear?
Yeah, doesn't
Doesn't
sound
sound like
serious.
a sprain.
Hmm.
It sounds more like he either had too many mimosas, too many mojitos, or the drink of last night was not favoring him. I don't know, man. Like at this point,
Miami
Laker
won
Nation, Miami, no, Miami
on and
won.
off, on and off the court. Miami won.
Jesus Christ. Zen, question: are we a championship squad?
No,
I can't believe you're
no,
asking him that right now.
not at all. Not at all.
Hey, I'm
Not at all.
because this is the sentiment. This is the actual, like, this is how we feel right now. Like we feel like, um, yeah, this shit seems cooked, and
Yeah,
it's game
not at
7.
all. And look, and here's the thing:
It's
we're
game
seven
7,
games
right?
in.
We're 7 games
We're
into
seven.
the season, and the season is cooked.
Yeah, because
Ooh, how does
look,
that sound?
look. Here's the thing:
How does
isn't
that
it's
sound?
still early? Okay, look, we know last season we were 0-5, 2-10, and we made it to the conference finals, got swept. Okay, so we know things can turn around, and we are not in as far of we did not dig ourselves as deep of a hole from a roster standpoint, from a record standpoint, as we did last season. So okay, cool. We're closer to sea level than at right now than we were last season. At this point last season. One of the things, and we spoke about it last week, but one of the things that I'm not liking, every game is a grind.
Yeah.
LeBron James just played another 37 minutes tonight. Um, we from after game one, oh yeah, we're gonna keep him from to 29 minutes. Every other game, he has been at playing at least 33. It's been one game he played 40. We've already had a couple overtime games. It's not sustainable. Yes, there's time when you watch the I think LeBron had a couple of chase down blocks tonight in the for the Miami game. When you watch him, there's times that you're like, whoa, is this guy 38 or 28? He's phenomenal. We also saw how he ended the season where it's just like that last game, he scored 40. He scored 40 in game 4 against the Nuggets, but he scored 30 in the first half. In the second half, he could barely walk. It's just not, it's not sustainable. And yeah, it's not sustainable. And of course, when each person goes down, isn't it crazy that that the oldest guy on the team is the healthiest and he's also the best player? Um, and I'm not
Mm,
going to get on AD. Not yet. No, I understand what you're saying about like A. Okay, yes, AD has been great for us. But when I say best player, I'm talking about when it comes to the clutch moments,
okay, I got you.
LeBron has
Yeah,
to
yeah,
show
yeah,
up. When
for
it comes
sure.
to the
Yeah,
clutch moments, when it comes to like, okay, who's going to be the star? Cool. AD is just such a he's AD was a candidate for Western Conference Player of the Week. He could have won.
Lost
Okay,
it to Steph.
the night in Orlando. Say it again.
Say lost it to Steph. Steph won.
He lost it to Steph. He lost it to Steph, but he was a candidate. He had 7 blocks in the Orlando game. I just saw a statistic that through the first 6 games, he is tied with Shaq for the most blocks in just in the first 6 games at 22. He's leading the league in blocks at 3.7. I know he had 1 block tonight. Obviously, he left the game early. Um, so it's not a championship winning squad. I don't see it right now. I do realize that we can change, we can tweak some things. Darvin Ham has not been doing a good coaching job. And by the way, folks, we are dropping a new hoodie for Coach Pockets. So go to by the time this podcast drop, please, I encourage you, go to purpleandgoldmines.com, check out the PGM merch. You will see the Coach Pockets hoodie. And if you wonder which hoodie is the Coach Pocket hoodie, don't worry, we will make it easy for you. Um, yeah. Like Shaq says, put underdog, put that on a shirt. Mojito, put that on a hoodie. Yeah, we're gonna take care of that Coach Pockets thing. Um, he's lacking
Yeah.
emotion. I see LeBron advocating for fouls and talking to the ref more than him. He's not defending his players when it comes to fouls. He's not advocating for them. Sometimes you need to do the Coach Popovich thing and just go off. Even if it gets you ejected,
Tonight,
just so you can. Yeah, go ahead,
sorry.
playoff.
No, I'm saying tonight would have been the perfect night for that. Because I mean, I just need, and when I first was listening to the space about how Darvin Ham doesn't have any technical fouls, I was like, man, this is kind of a silly conversation. But the more I think about it, especially with Braun getting a technical foul tonight, it's like Braun is like one of the least like he rarely gets technical fouls called on him. Rare. And so this would have been a perfect opportunity to show some sort of fire because that is one of the huge criticisms about Coach Ham is that it's like he's a Laker fan cosplaying as the coach. Like who has the best seat in the house. He's literally standing there on the sidelines with his hand in his pocket, just enjoying the game. And it's like,
I
bro, you're
can't
getting
believe I'm here.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's like a Make a Wish kid or something. Like I don't know, but it's like I need to see some sort of fire from you. You don't see him. You don't see him like you don't see him like lit in the players. You don't see him like get into it with referees. Like you just don't. He's just there. He's like an empty
Yeah,
shell.
yeah,
And it's like I need
absolutely.
to see some sort of fire. I need to see that you're invested in the success of this team because this can go south really quickly. And it's like he does not understand the gravity. He does not. He's not coaching. He does not appear like he's a coach for a team that came into this season with championship or bust expectations. He just doesn't. He
Yeah,
doesn't. Look, he doesn't look the part.
yeah, and I've seen Phil Jackson. Um, I've seen Phil Jackson, a person who consume peyote, a person who is known as the Zen master, have show more anger and fire on the sidelines
Exactly.
than what
Yeah.
Darvin Ham is doing. Um, look, folks, we had a whole rundown. Okay, we were going to talk about the now that James Harden is with the Clippers and he's going to be, they announced he's in the starting lineup. What was that going to look like? Who would, which one of our guys would be guarding that starting lineup? We were going to talk about all types of stuff. Obviously, shout out to CJ McCollum. He's dealing with some shit. We want him
Yeah.
to get healthy. We had a whole rundown of stuff. I even was going to introduce this new segment, like absurd news of the week. It was going to be about how this woman was trying to smuggle giraffe poop and make necklaces. Like she got
Where,
caught by customs. Yeah.
where do you
Look,
find
absurd news of the week. This woman was yeah, I found it on I like found came across this article, and this woman was going to she got caught with a whole bunch of giraffe poop, and they asked her what the hell is she doing with it, like customs, and she was like, "Oh, I was going to use it to make necklaces." We were going to talk about that, and but I'm not in the mood to talk about giraffe poop because we're dealing with Lakers poop, just purple and gold shit, purple and gold piles of shit. I don't have much else to say. We got what, three more games this we got what, two more games this week, or what, between now and the next episode. We have what, we have Rockets next. We have Rockets on Wednesday. In our first in-season tournament game against the Suns on Friday. We got Trailblazers on Sunday. So let's just do this. Between now and Sunday, guys, what do you think? How many games we winning between now and Sunday?
if AD plays, I think there's 2 games you said between now and Sunday, or 3? Sorry.
Three. Rockets,
Houston.
Suns, and Houston, Phoenix, and Trailblazers.
If AD plays, 3-0.
Bradley Beal's coming back, and Devin
Well,
Booker, and we barely beat the team when it was just KD, and
well,
that was at home.
well. Look at this. We beat the Clippers, who are just as talented. Now, granted, they didn't have James Harden, but just as talented of a team as the Suns on paper. So I feel like if AD's healthy and they actually go into that game and take it seriously, maybe get Rui back as well, I could see us winning that game. I'm trying to keep my I'm trying to stay positive.
Tony.
Yo, I'm trying to fight for my life here, man. Like this shit's like I don't know what to tell you. Like I'm getting bookmarked. It's been a minute since I got bookmarked. And this guy Solo, which I see you, by the
Oh
way.
God.
I had a poll in October 3rd saying who has a better team, the Warriors or the Rockets? And he basically quote tweeted me and said, who has a better team, Lakers or Rockets? Rockets are a 500 team right now.
We are not. We are not.
I have a
Talk about opportunity. I'm just saying, like he was sitting on that shit for how many
oh, for
games?
sure. He was waiting. He's waiting for the triple zeros to hit. And
Jesus Christ!
I have
What's the question?
well, he wanted to know how many wins you think we get from now until Sunday.
So what's the schedule? Because
Houston, Phoenix.
Rockets, Phoenix, Trailblazers.
and they're all road games.
All road games. No back to backs. Every other day. Wednesday, Friday, Sunday.
Okay, the positive in me would say that I don't know which game we'll lose. I don't know which game we'll win, but I'll say that we'll stay at.
Phoenix. We're losing Phoenix.
I'm not sure about that.
Tony, let
I
me tell you
really,
how bad it's
I'm
going to
not.
be. Tony,
No, no.
Austin Reeves is going to be 3 shades darker because he's going to get sunburned.
By the way, shout out to Austin Reeves because all the hate out there, and he was for this
Best
team.
best game of the year.
So so he had in the Orlando loss, he had 20 points. In this game, how much did he had again? 23, if I'm
23, I
not
want to
mistaken.
say. Yeah,
Yeah,
23.
I was told that he's not a 20-point per game player, but again, it's too early to tell, of course.
Can I
But
say a racial joke?
He almost said no.
no,
No,
depends.
you're not.
It's bro. You're not gonna destroy PGM. So come on, don't do it.
Look,
Don't
I'm
do
not
it.
trying to destroy PGM. I'm just gonna say this, which as great as Austin Reeves played, and as crappy as everyone else, I can see why there's stereotypes about us being lazy. Just saying, folks. That's all.
Just keep going, Tony. Just keep rolling. Just keep rolling.
All right. So anyway, um, regardless, I feel like we can win probably one or two of those games. I do believe that we could win the Suns game. Like I'm being honest because okay, Beal Book. Let's say Beal Booker comes back for that game. Let's say that they have the whole three there. That's the first time that they're gonna play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, there's a learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
There's opportunity in that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm gonna say because they're not gonna play organized basketball. They're gonna have turnovers. They're gonna have opportunities. So the Lakers, if they can capitalize, great. If they don't have Anthony Davis for that game, it's gonna be rough.
Yep.
They may not. If they don't have Anthony Davis for this stretch of games,
We might not win another one.
we may not win any of them. Like
I'm going
that's just a fact. Like I
with or
don't like
without
that's how
AD.
important Anthony
Yeah.
Davis is. And
Look,
by the
with
way,
or
for all
without
those
AD. Yeah, go ahead.
no, for all those who are clamoring that Christian Wood, that's why we have Christian Wood. Of course, that's why we have Christian Wood. But Christian Wood cannot replicate an ounce
That's what
of
AD
what
does.
Anthony Davis does on the defensive end.
Nope.
So just keep the same energy. That's all. Like he's just a better
Look.
Thomas Bryant.
Oh God. Look. With or without AD, I'm saying 1-2. Um Rockets game. I don't trust if Anthony Davis plays on Wednesday, I don't think he'll be healthy. Um from the way he was grimacing and in pain, like it's okay to say, "Oh yeah, I'll be good for Wednesday." Now you're full of
Yeah.
adrenaline,
Hmm.
but go to sleep because they're going to spend the night in Miami most likely. Um, arrive in Houston tomorrow. Uh, which look, man, talk about setting up a team for failure. You get a few nights in Miami, and then you go into H Town for 2 nights. Okay. Okay, better behave yourselves. But look, I think 1-2. I think with Houston, I don't see Anthony Davis being healthy. I hope he's not compromised. Um, I think with Houston, they're such a young team that they're going to say, you know what, we're just going to run. It's going to be like the Coach Carter movie. Remember when Coach Carter just had them running at first before they even touched the basketball? I think they're going to run us out the building, which is our kryptonite. Um, is this going to be the Dylan Brooks revenge game? Like really? That Phoenix game. Look, I'm a Laker fan, folks. I love my team, but I'm just looking. We're gonna have that three-headed monster playoff. You already know. I've been saying take Phoenix seriously. You're gonna have a road game. You're gonna be on the road against Phoenix, and this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with Durant, Booker, Beal. We're dealing with them for the first time together. This is a team that crowd is going to be going crazy for. First time of the season. The crowd is going to be crazy. And on top of that, we're going to have to play on those weird ass courts because it's an in-season tournament game.
Oh yeah, that is an in-season tournament game.
Nah.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, it's an in-season tournament game. So they're going to be playing on those weird ass courts. Nah. Mm-mm. Guys are going to forget where the 3-point line is. They're going to be confused about where the 3-point line is. I guarantee you. 1-2. Now, I'm not worried about, dominating. I'm not worried about him. Not at all. And I'm also not worried about the social media folks of the Trailblazers. Kick rocks for blocking us. But,
Did they block
I'm not
PGM or did
sure
they
what
block
we
P?
could ever say. No, they blocked PGM. They blocked
Mm,
PGM, which you would think it would be the Knicks that would block us first, but yeah, hey, it is what it is. Um, guys, we had to scrap this entire rundown to vent because this is some bullshit. We went into Florida. Florida 1, Florida 2, Lakers 0. Look, on the other side of this commercial break, there'll be a dope conversation between Evan and myself, talking about Magic Johnson and just going through that press conference and all of the retirement as a fan at that time. Um, so yeah. Um, is there anything else to say about this fucking team?
Just buckle up, man. It's gonna be a long ride, and
Well, I don't know
I
what's the
don't.
point of buckling up if we're going to drive off a cliff.
Um, you know what? That's.
At least we got the music, right?
Yeah, let's just have fun.
We got the
That's all
music.
we can do.
Yeah, man. It's
Hey,
just
win,
sport.
lose, or draw. Win, lose, or
Have
draw.
fun. Have
Let's
fun.
have
That's what we're
fun.
here for.
Let's have fun.
Yeah, and
Like
let's just do an.
Emotional damage.
Let's just,
I'm not stressing over no
Yep.
game that I don't get paid to play the sport. I enjoy it. We have to a part of this content thing. We give our reactions, but I
yeah,
can't. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. It would be nice though that our coach could technically tell us exactly what Cam Reddish has done.
I can't care more than the coach does, and apparently
Yeah,
our coach doesn't
yeah, I
do it.
can. I can't either. So, in the end of the day, it's still games. There's still 7 games into the season. It's still early.
We
If
got
we even go by the standings, like the Rockets are making the playoffs.
we got
Just
75.
saying,
We got
like
75 more games. Like
it is what it is. Dallas seems like they're invincible. We got bigger fish to fry. Just saying, like Boston actually got their first loss, and by the way, that was against the Minnesota Timberwolves, which they look pretty nasty.
Timberwolves look pretty
So
good.
look very nasty, very nasty. So yeah, um, it's not about. But here's the moral of the story, and then we'll go to commercial. It's not about how good your team is when they're good. So
Saving our best for last.
hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully we peak at the right time. I hope. There you go.
All right, folks.
I mean, there
Yeah,
was.
we'll
Thank
see.
you for the pause, then.
Yeah, just what's to say? A dead clock is, you know,
Right, twice a day.
right. A broken clock is right twice a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long ass season. Folks, we'll be back after this commercial break. Um, this team fucking sucks. That's all. We'll be back. Great conversation between Evan and Evan Moore, host of the Hoops Zooted podcast, also the writer of Late Night LakeShow. So you know what? I think it's a dope conversation. Please stay with us after this commercial break, and we will be back. This team fucking sucks.
The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout.
He's just
absolute, unacceptable, unforgivable screw up of a year. And it's, according to StatMuse, it's historically unprecedented.
Watching Laker fans react to common sense moves over the weekend was quite something. None of these moves are Danny Ainge. They didn't reshape the roster.
He came into this world as the son of a coach, but in these playoffs, he became the Lakers' daddy. So I tell you what, NBA, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
There will be a time.
So the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again.
Today is you are listening to this episode drops of Meeting of the Gold Mines on November 7th, Tuesday, November 7th, 2023. And it is exactly 32 years, the 32 years since Magic Johnson retired because of his infection, of his, excuse me. Tony, cut that out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please cut it. All right, so folks, we are back. Today is gonna be an interesting conversation. We're not talking about today's Lakers. You know, we already did that. You guys already heard that earlier, but had to have a special conversation today because look, this episode drops on November 7th, 2023, and exactly 32 years ago, November 7th, 1991, the greatest point guard, Mr. Magic Johnson, Irving Magic Johnson, retired due to his infection of the HIV disease. And, 32 years, he's number 32. We had to have a conversation about it. So, you know what I did? I had to hit up one of our homies. He's been on the podcast a few times. He is a person I consider a brother. He is also the host of Hoops Zooted and the writer for Late Night LakeShow. Shout out to the whole crew. Mr. Evan Moore, what's up, brother? How are you, man? Welcome back. Thank you for joining us.
Doing great, man. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I appreciate you having me for this conversation. Anytime I get to talk about the Showtime Lakers is great. But this is a, it's a sad anniversary, but it's also kind of a happy anniversary because Magic is still here. And back when he made that announcement, we were worried that he wasn't going to be. So
Owner of the Dodgers, owner of a shitload of Starbucks. He's the owner of a Pepsi Cola plant in the DC area. Speaking of DC, he's also a owner of the Commanders. Life's been good for him. Life has been pretty good for him. But I want to have this conversation, man. Thank you for joining us. And so I wanted to start off. I wanted to paint a picture because look, Magic about a month or so ago, you spoke about it on this podcast that he was his name was in a lot of people's mouths because some jackasses in Northern California wanted to say how much Steph Curry is the greatest point guard of all time. So I want to paint a picture before we get to the press conference because you watched it live. You felt the emotions. You lived through those emotions. You watched him in his prime, in his career. I want to get to that, but I want to paint a picture of what Magic was still doing in the 1990-91 season, his last full season in the NBA. What was going on with the purple and gold? It was the first season without Pat Riley. We hired Mike, not D'Antoni. Hell no, not Mike D'Antoni. We hired Mike Dunleavy Sr. Fuck no, that was a nightmare. We hired Mike Dunleavy Sr. We signed Sam Perkins. The Lakers finished the regular season 58-24. If we can win 58 games this year, I would be pleasantly surprised, but that's a whole nother story. We finished second in the Pacific Division, third in the Western Conference. Big Game James Worthy led the team in scoring at 21 points per game. Magic averaged 19 and a half, 7 rebounds, 12 and a half assists. John Stockton, he was second to John Stockton, who was averaging over 14 assists per game. Magic was selected to as an NBA All-Star. The Lakers did lose in 5 games to those Chicago Bulls. I had to do some research. Some guy named Michael Jordan, he averaged 31 points and 11 and a half assists that game. Evan, I know this is a sore spot for you and why you have beef with him, but do you want to let folks know how good this Michael Jordan guy was? And, if you want to if you have anything to say about him.
No, I don't. No, I'm just
whatever happened to that guy?
No, he was fucking phenomenal, man. Like, yeah, like especially in that finals, he was fucking incredible. Like, before that in the finals, like I had always held Dr. J in such high regard because he had that incredible, under the backboard, up and under move that he did in the finals. And then Mike in those finals, it wasn't under the backboard, but he does as he's coming up the lane, switches hands and does, it was reminiscent, but not the same. And like, yeah, it was just like, yeah, he was on another level at that point. And yeah, very, very frustrating because I remember them taking game 1 and I was at a friend's house watching with some other friends and they all hated the Lakers and like, we're talking all kinds of shit to me all game. And like, when Sam Perkins hit the winner for that game 1, it was in Chicago. Like I jumped up and I'm like, yeah, see, I told you we're going to get this. Cause I'm thinking in my head, like, oh, we just stole one at home, but then they roll off the next fucking 4 straight, take all 3 of them for them. But yeah,
Unbelievable.
They were incredible.
Well, I would just say it went all downhill from there for Mike. Not sure what happened to that guy. But all right, so we got our ass kicked in the finals. We lost in 5 games. What was the expectations going into that 91-92 season?
Low. We'd lost our leader, our chief, our general, he was gone. Like, it was sad. Like, it was also kind of bittersweet for me, because like my favorite player wearing his jersey right now,
Big Game James.
He took the reins as the number 1 player. And so like, I was excited from that standpoint, but like, yeah, I really did not have expectations.
Okay, so wait, hold on. Okay, hold on. Real quick. Remember, Magic made the announcement on November 7th. So I'm asking from the summer after the 91 finals.
Oh, yes.
What was the expectations for the team for that following season? Because this is pre-retirement for Magic. What was the expectation?
Magic's coming back to the finals. We were thinking back to the finals because we still had, the core of that team, coming back, and yeah, like I was thinking definitely, back to the finals and, we're not going to let Mike get another one. That's what I was thinking before. But yeah, I apologize because I'm,
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Now,
Post press conference, it was it was pre press conference, like you're thinking everything's good, off season, you're thinking like, yeah, we're gonna go back and we're not letting Mike get another one, but then post press conference is just in the basement, just like I don't know now.
all right. Well, so let me ask you. So that preseason, okay, Magic is missing some games. He ended up missing the first 3 games of the regular season. What was the rumblings? Because we do know, obviously hindsight is 2020. We do know that before the press conference, I guess he he was notified of testing positive a few weeks before because he wanted to get life insurance, and you have to do the physical and the medical exams. So as a Laker fan, but he's also missing games, and they said, oh, something because of his stomach, a stomach ailment, like they called it. What was the rumblings? Like, what was the rumblings in the press as a Laker fan? Magic's missing games. This is unlike Magic. What were you hearing? What was the rumblings in the press and the media and all that?
Yeah, I mean, it was weird. It was like kind of like, you know, things were at the beginning, you know, leading up to the press conference, we'd hear it. It seemed like it was no big deal. It was like, oh, he's just sitting out. Maybe they're just resting him up for his age now. Like it was just thought of as no big deal. Like, oh, he's just not playing. And then it was as we got closer to the press conference, like I think a few days out, where like little rumblings of him possibly being sick started becoming in the report. So then that's when people started speculating. And yeah, like, a lot of people had, different ideas, but I don't think any of us knew, like the magnitude of what he was going to say in that press conference for sure. But like, yeah, like it didn't get weird until, like I said, a few days before the press conference, when talking about him being sick, and it was like, then like you saw the like national reports kind of shift a little bit too, of like, wait, maybe something more is wrong. And yeah, it was weird and eerie. And then like, yeah, when the press conference came, like, yeah, I was home, and I had to watch it live because I had to know what the hell was going on.
Absolutely. Well, here's the thing. I was in my research, prepping for this episode. I went on YouTube and I watched CNN coverage of it. And the reporter, right before Magic starts speaking, was like, yes, expected for Magic Johnson to announce his retirement due to HIV. So it's like some of the press knew there were rumblings. I guess the rumors started to come out. And now, folks, we are in 2023. HIV, I'm not saying it's something in the past, but I just want to give a little. It's not something that's real prominent nowadays. I think if anything nowadays, like obviously, folks, wrap your shit up. But you know, nowadays we're more worried about catching a clap or herpes, as opposed to HIV. It's not something that's really in the lexicon nowadays. But that wasn't the case 30 years ago. And I just really want to take a minute to really just paint a picture of how this was. It officially became HIV slash AIDS. It's connected because HIV can morph into AIDS if it's progressed enough. But it officially became a global epidemic in 1984. Okay. Um, give you a little story. It's not something that it's not just to show you how times were different. In 1985, Ryan White, a teenager from Indiana, he was a hemophiliac. He contracted AIDS from a blood transfusion. No actions of his own. He didn't have sex unprotected. He didn't share a needle. He contracted AIDS from a blood transfusion. But the fucking piece of shit parents in that Indiana community feared he would expose their children to AIDS. and it resulted in him being barred from school. Um, for those who love your gangster rap, Easy E died in '95. If you're a fan of tennis, Arthur Ashe, major tennis champion, died in 1993. If you love music, then Freddie Mercury, probably the all-time greatest frontman of any musical act ever, died. Liberace, Rock Hudson. If you're a fan of Rocky, I know Rocky 5 is the worst one. I get it. But uh Rocky's protege, real life name Tommy Morrison, he passed away from it. So many lives were lost. And in 1991, just you know, same year Magic Johnson contracted the disease, 29,850 US residents died from HIV infection. Um, and it was mostly young people. Um, 77% of folks that were dying were under the age of 45 years old. Um, Evan, I remember I'm younger, but I remember the Seinfeld episode with Kramer getting ostracized for not wearing the ribbon. That red ribbon was iconic. And it was lots of fundraisers. Elton John would have his annual fundraisers, lots of different organizations. Can you paint a picture of how big this epidemic was during the 90s?
Oh, it was huge. I mean, it was talked about on, both local and, national news, like almost on a daily basis. Like, they would talk to us about it in school. It was, and there was a lot of misinformation that went on back then, just kind of like in the early days of COVID, a lot of misinformation, then that's because that's kind of what humans do. It's like, when the things come out, we do panic a little bit and freak out, and but yeah, I mean, it was a scary disease because, unlike any other sexually transmitted disease, this could kill you, like every other, sexually transmitted disease we could treat with antibiotics or, you know, other means. And yeah, so to have something like that, and also like as a kid growing up, like that, having that, I think it's something that, my generation understands well, but like a lot of other generations don't quite understand. But that having that looming over, something that's, an enjoyable, part of life
Right.
is, it's a scary thing. And yeah, it was, you know, we were convinced, like when Magic made that press conference and told us all the news, like we were all convinced that he was going to be gone within a few years. Like, that was what everybody knew at that point. You get HIV, you get AIDS, and you die, but he's
Ab-
obviously defied those odds amazingly. And so have other people, thanks to him and everything like that. But yeah, it was very, very scary back then. Very scary.
Absolutely. In doing the research, it's crazy that it used to be known as the gay plague. They
Yeah.
used to call it the gay plague, and used to think that, oh, you only like just folks. This is how bad the people. This is how bad the rumors, the innuendos, the misinformation was out there. First, they figure, oh, you would get it because only gays can get it. Um, you could get it if you share a cup of water, if you drink the same water fountain, if you give them a hug, if you shake their hand, um, if
Yeah.
you
Swim in a swimming
con
pool with
if
them.
if you in the swimming pool, if you're playing a game of basketball and they touch and there's let's say they have sweat on their arms and that sweat get to you. Oh, like that's how bad it was. Um and what was the day so let's go into the press conference. You're watching this press conference. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What words do you remember? What were you thinking as you're watching this press conference?
Wow. Like, like I said, I was at home and like I knew it was coming. So like I was, it was appointment television for me, like, and that's how it was a lot for a lot of our generation back then, was like, you either had to catch it live or you didn't catch it at all. But anyway, like, um so when I sat down, like, at that point I'd already heard some of the rumblings of like, oh, he's got some, some serious disease, something really bad that may make him retire. But like I hadn't heard anything about HIV or AIDS at that point. So when those words came out of his mouth on the stage, that was the first time that I had heard that. And it was an absolute gut punch, because not only for the Lakers, like I said, just the thought of losing Magic, like, I mean, I loved watching this guy play for so long, and like, you know, his career got cut short, like, at 31. So like, I think the only way to kind of put that in perspective is imagine LeBron being forced to retire in, say, like 2012 or something like that. That's the magnitude of this. Somebody who's that big, the face of the league, like suddenly saying, I can't do this anymore. I mean, it's yeah, it was
I
devastating.
Yeah,
Devastating.
one of the things that's like when he made that announcement, I was 5 years old. So I'm not comprehending. I remember my dad like watching it. I remember him trying to explain it, but I'm not really understanding. But it was definitely a conversation like in my household, just hearing like, Magic is sick, Magic is retired, Magic is gonna die. And it's crazy because he was like, in the show Winning Time, they definitely alluded, not well, they more than alluded to it. They showed it where, hey, Magic was a ladies' man. All right. Like Magic he was putting in his work. But it's just crazy that how bad the stigma was, where all of a sudden when he announced it, oh, he's really gay. Oh yeah, then him and Isaiah Thomas, yeah, they were really gay lovers. That's why they kissed each other on the court. Forgetting the fact that they tried to kill each other and almost came to blows in you know in two NBA finals. You know, or one NBA
Yeah.
finals, excuse me, one NBA finals. But it just
No,
but
we
all of
played
a
him
sudden he was
twice.
gay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we did play him twice. Excuse me, in two
Yeah.
NBA finals. It
Yeah, we
was
split those.
like, yeah, it was like, yo, all of a sudden they were lovers, forgetting that they tried to kill each other over the course of two
Yeah.
finals. So it's just crazy.
It's
But one thing
ridiculous.
I do want to say, one reason why Dr. Buss is a legend and their Lakers have the reputation of treating their players first, like, with first class treatment for better or for worse. He not only he put Magic as an injured reserve player, and he not only continued to pay his full salary, he also threw in 5% of the team. So that's how much he loved Magic. And that's why the Lakers will always be considered a first class organization. And that's why to this day, Magic will do anything for the Lakers. Um, and just to put this in
Mhm.
perspective of the impact, what happened to the Lakers the following seasons, here we go. So that 91-92 season without Magic, we went 43-39. We finished sixth in the division, eighth in the Western Conference. We lost in 4 games in the first round to the Trailblazers. Following season, 92-93, we finished below 500 at 39-43, fifth in the division, eighth in the Western Conference. Once again, losing in the first round, this time to the Phoenix Suns in 5 games. The 93-94 division, 33-49. So we're talking about before the Lakers hired Del Harris. We didn't make the playoffs in 93-94, by the way, but before they hired Del Harris, before the 94-95 season, it was just 3 straight seasons where it was just a downward spiral. That's what happened to the organization. Now, if some if some conspiracy theorists and people want to connect the dots to say, hey, you know, without Magic retiring so early, we would not have had the opportunity to get Kobe. We would not have gotten Shaq in the 96, 97 season. Hey, I'll let you run wild with that, but it definitely took the franchise in a whole nother direction when Magic was forced to retire. Um, but those are definitely the lost those are like from 91 to like 95, you never hear any Laker fans talk about that period of time. What was it? What was that 4-year block like?
Oh, it was rough. It was rough, definitely. I mean, they were still competitive, which I always did appreciate, but yeah, I mean, you know, it was a big hole when Magic left, and Worthy only stuck around for, I believe 2 years after that. So yeah, it was a rough stretch, you know. Excuse me for a second.
Of course, of course. Yeah, it was definitely a rough stretch. It was
Yeah.
definitely a rough stretch,
But
but
but yeah, I mean,
yeah, no, it was definitely a rough stretch. I want to say, but you know what? As much as everyone thought at the time that was the end of Magic, it wasn't the case. He is still living. He is healthy. If you follow him on social
yeah.
media, then every summer he takes like a 6-week trip on a mega yacht. Life is good for Mr. Magic. But I wanted to, before we as we close this out, Evan, want to get to a couple of things. The 92 All-Star game, NBA All-Star game. Now,
Oh, yeah.
I have been talking about this All-Star game for like the last couple of months because I use that as a
Great game.
gauge when it comes to just the competitiveness of the league. But this is the All-Star game in Orlando. So he was voted in by the fans. He was voted Magic was voted in by the fans to start for the Western Conference. Um, what was that game like? Obviously, he won MVP. He hit like a memorable three at the end. What was that game like? What was even the reports? I know Karl Malone had a problem with it. What was everything going on before and during that game?
Oh man, yeah. You bring up the Karl Malone shit, and yeah, like Carl was like considering his background and like what he was complaining about with all of that. Like, yeah, I've got a big fuck you for Carl on that. Like, I'm still
Absolutely.
like, yeah, I can't forgive Carl for that because like he was one of the big driving forces that kept Magic from you know from coming back to even play at all. And like that was the compromise was to get him to come back for at least an all-star game so that he gets a farewell. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was like like I already didn't like Carl, so yeah, it just added to it. And like, but so like when it finally did happen in that day, it was like I still think of that game as like the a beautiful fever dream that like it didn't feel real. And like it was like a total fairy tale of a game. Like he comes out and he's amazing, and like gets the MVP, and just like everything that he was throwing up was dropping in. And just yeah, it was freaking beautiful. And it like you know for the way things ended, it was kind of like this satisfying kind of like, at least we got to give him a goodbye. And you know actually make me a little misty thinking about it. But yeah, it was special, man. It was extremely special. And like like actually I've got a little memento here. I want to show you
Oh,
guys and
please,
share
we
it
want to
here.
see it.
This
Oh,
old dirty hat here, if you can
yes.
see there,
Oh
that's
shit.
signed by Magic.
Oh shit.
Now, I bought this hat in the season right before the beginning of the season of the back-to-backs.
Okay.
And I never bought another hat. Like, I still was wearing this hat when I was watching the press conference, and I didn't
Wow.
buy another Lakers hat probably until like about 98 or 99. So like, this thing got retired when it got, like really,
Yes,
as you
that's
can
what we're
see,
talking about.
really, really worn. And like, I never wanted to throw it away, because of sentimental value. And then I lucked into an opportunity where my sister, who's a costume designer for in Hollywood, she got a temporary job actually buying clothes for Magic. And so
Oh, nice.
she said, like, hey, is there, you got anything that that you'd want signed? And I'm like, yes I do. I know it's a little
Absolutely.
weird, but like, so I dug this thing out, washed it off as best as I could, sent it out to her, and she got it signed by him. And he also signed a basketball. I've got it over here. But like,
This is dope. This is fucking dope, folks. Yes, that's what we're talking about. That's what
so
we're fucking talking about.
yeah, and so like, and this hat, like, you know, it means nothing to anybody else but me, but like that hat means the world to me, because yeah, like when that happened with Magic, like like I was pretty depressed. Like I didn't, and it wasn't that like, you know, I had lost, complete hope in the team, but it was just kind of like, I didn't want to buy a new hat just because like, it would make me have to fully like, kind of come to terms with the fact that he's gone, and that he wasn't
Yeah,
playing anymore, and
absolutely.
so yeah, so like, yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that with you guys. And it was, yeah, that hat means the world to me.
Hey, if you are listening to this on any podcast platform, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, whatever, I encourage you go over to YouTube and watch the video. Check out this hat. You see the Magic signature number 32 right on the brim. You see the basketball. So definitely check that out. So that is dope as fuck. And you know
Mhm.
what? This is the perfect
Too
way
heavy, man.
for us to wrap. Dope as fuck. Love it, love it, love it. This is the perfect way for us to end this episode. But I want to do this, Evan. You've been on the show before, so we always end our episode talking about what we're watching. So, what are you watching, man?
Actually, I'm just finishing up The Boys. I had gotten like bogged down with so many other shows and ended up stopping watching that at about halfway through season 2. So
Hmm.
I dove back in, even rewatched season 1, and so I'm up to actually the season finale, which I'm going to watch, hopefully later tonight. And then I want to get into the spinoff from that.
Gen
What is it?
V.
Gen V.
Gen
Thank
V.
you. Yes.
Wow,
Yeah. Because
wow,
like,
wow. You are literally the fifth person that keeps telling me watch the boys, watch the boys, watch the boys. You got to watch Gen V. So yeah, so it is my next show. It is my next show to watch.
it's really, really brilliant writing. There is some wonderful stuff about power dynamics within relationships and within every kind of relationship you can think of, and how those power dynamics can, work, and how they can go completely wrong. And it's really brilliantly written in that respect.
Yeah, and then I believe Jeffrey Morgan is in it,
Yeah.
right? Jeffrey Morgan's in the yeah, I'm a huge fan of his. So yeah, that's Negan, folks, if any Walking Dead fans. I'm you know what? It just premiered today. I mean, it just premiered on Sunday, the day we're recording this, and I'm watching Bass Reeves story. It's another spinoff. It's the newest spinoff from the Yellowstone universe, and Bass Reeves in real life, he was one of the first black sheriffs, black lawmen in this country, and I they premiered. It's on Paramount Plus. They premiered the first two episodes. I actually just watched the first episode before we before we started recording, and as soon as we finish, I'm gonna watch the second episode. The writing is brilliant. Taylor Sheridan, oh man, like he is on such a roll with Yellowstone, the whole Yellowstone universe, which includes 1883 and 1923. They just announced two new spin-offs, and obviously the mother show itself, Yellowstone. Brilliant writing. He also has Tulsa King starting Sylvester Stallone and Mayor of Kingstown with Jeremy Renner. Um, just brilliant writing and just Bass Reeves. I'm not going to give any spoilers. It's powerful. It's really powerful. It talks about the end of the Civil War from the perspective of a slave. And then I like I said, I just one episode in, so I highly recommend that to anyone. But Evan, you came through in the clutch once again for us. Thank you. I'm glad that your computer's working. I'm glad that you're able to participate in this conversation. So we will
Yeah, man.
we will get old, but we'll never grow up. But look, hey, catch us next week, folks. Meeting of the Gold Mines. And then also NBA season is here. Every night we're on playback. If For watch parties, we're watching the Laker games. We're also watching we're watching games every night. So if it's watching Victor Wembanyama with the Spurs, if it's watching the clusterfuck known as the Los Angeles Clippers, if it's watching, Freak Time with Giannis and Dame for the Milwaukee games, we're watching it. So join us on Playback. Hang out with us. Playback.tv/PGM Fan Cave. You can also get your PGM merch at purplegoldmines.com. And last but never least, please follow us on Twitter/X, Instagram, Threads, and YouTube at Purple Gold Mines. I am Born Rebel, aka Zen, and we will catch you next week for the next episode of Meeting of the Gold Mines. Later.
Soon as we step out the cage, we raising all of the stakes. Make no mistake, either you stay in your place or we putting you on a plate. Look at our face, we put the fear in the dirt. We at the